Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this, your Capricorn October 2023 reading and forecast. Hi, I'm Nigel Saint James, clairvoyant, and I've done a number of one-on-one clairvoyant readings for Capricorns from different countries around the world over FaceTime and Skype in the course of the last month. And if you might be interested to see what's involved in that, check out the information that's in the description box below. Separately, I've done a number of healings for people from different countries over FaceTime and Skype as well. Now, my sole contract is that I must provide healings for free. Readings I charge for, the clairvoyant reading, but healings, they are provided free, without obligation, no strings attached. You won't be recommended or sold anything. So if you are interested in that, have a look at the description as well. You might know somebody who is interested in something like that. Now let's take the 5 cards, shall we? And first of all, it's great to see the subscribers again. Thank you for welcoming me into your home. I really appreciate seeing you. Good to see you, and I hope you're doing well. Now, you know that there are no video advertisements breaking their way into this content, and so you get to enjoy the experience direct. So let's take the 5 cards. We only need 5, and see what there is in store for you, shall we? Six of, what would that be? I would say that, no, because there's no, I would say that's a 6 of swords is what I'm getting. Just looking at the picture, there's no titles on it. 6 of swords is what that is. I've got to see what there is, you know. I need to get the prescription looked at again. There is the Magician. Hi there, Magician. Ideal for you at this time of year, the Magician, I would say. There's the King of Swords making an appearance. And here is the Knight of Swords, the King and the Knight of Swords together. You're going to be quite active, I would say. And finally, what is there here? Have a look. And that is the 2 of coins, which seems to be a bit of a theme with you, I think, this 2 of coins or pentacles. Anyway, come and sit down with me. You and I will have a good close look at the imagery that's on these cards together while I do the reading for you. Great. Well, let's have a look at the first card that you drew, shall we? And it is this one, the 6 of Swords. Now, there's no doubt, I think, that you are, and just taking it from this image that's here, is that you are getting away from, or you are resolving something which has caused some aggravation, I think, in your life. But that's going into the past. You're leaving that behind. And I think that's because of the way that you are now looking at things. I think that was a mental issue that you had, but it seems either you are resolving it by the way that you are approaching it in your mind. The reason why I say that is because this energy here is that of Mercury ruling the 2nd decan of Aquarius, 30th of January to the 9th of February. Well, the air planet of Mercury, that planet of diplomacy, communication, the planet which is the go-between between the gods and humanity, it finds itself in the fixed sign of air, which is Aquarius. Now, I think that that Mercury is exalted in Aquarius, and that highlights the intellectual qualities of this card. Now, Aquarius is an air sign, as I say, and it is detached and intellectual by nature, and Mercury's ability to analyze things brings you now a clear perspective, a clear understanding going forward. And I think that what you have here is an ability to really to analyze, to work things out, to bring your ideas together, where you have an all-encompassing vision, an all-embracing understanding of something, and an objectivity in relation to it as well. You see, this astrology suggests a somewhat detached but balanced assessment of a situation is needed. So you need to look at something without bias and too much emotion to get results. Now, Aquarius is also the sign of new things and originality. So this can also represent you communicating ideas that are new, even offbeat, in a very orderly way. Do you know, I think that Mercury is one of the greatest gifts for Aquarius, because Mercury's ability to analyze things brings clarity to how you see the future now. This clarity is not only seen and recognized by you, but it can also be effectively communicated. The most varied of ideas and visions that you have, they're coming together at a central point, and this allows for a new, all-encompassing vision of things which bring the rose of realization into bloom. Of course, one of the reasons that you're able to work things out is because you have learnt from difficult experiences in the past, haven't you? And you have grown through some tough times, and now you have a handle on life and can make intelligent decisions that's going to benefit your life. There certainly is a greater level of awareness to your thinking and actions now. And I think this does mean that a situation that you probably hadn't been able to come to grips with is now getting better. You are thinking out a better approach in dealing with that situation. You see, you possess the ability to understand on different levels and from different perspectives. And your understanding of things unites those very different aspects which are around you. Now, where are and what are I'll call them the ruts in your life. Where are the ruts in your life? Now, this is a time for you to trust your insight and to communicate, to speak to others in a way that they will understand, and allow the rose to unfold. And say this to yourself: the rose of recognition blossoms in my heart. Now, there's a lot of Mercury along this top line here as well with this card, which is that of the Magician. Yeah, see, Mercury is a very interesting energy. It's sort of amoral, that is, being neither good nor bad, but just doing what is necessary here. And here we have what I call the magus of power. And this is talking about, again, because of this influence of Mercury, about you having communication, a great strength in communication here, almost a brilliance in a way, and you taking action and having power to make your ideas and desires come into being. You'll have great willpower, and I think you will be something of a smooth talker. I think that what's also going on here is that, well, this is interesting because Mercury really stands for both truth and falsehood, and it brings all ideas and judgments into question, which can often make Mercury appear in a questionable light itself. But as a creative creature, Mercury knows no conscience, and it uses all tools, all methods to arrive at its goal. Now, the temptation to misuse talent is great, but its ability and skill lend it superiority and power, and this is what you will have. And he moves on that very fine line between white and black magic, which means that Mercury needs to look in the mirror every now and again and examine itself, because Mercury can use its talents in a self-seeking manner or in the service of love and light. Now, I see that what there is here for you at this present time is great skill in... You'll have great timing with things that you do and say. You'll have a flexibility in all aspects of communication. You might be quite gifted at the visual arts, I think. You'll have an interest in music. And if you're not in mass media or public relations, you should be, because you really do have that front person view about you at the moment. There is a good ability for you to see people's communication patterns and to get inside their head. And I think the communication is actually going to be a very high on the agenda for you at the present time. Do you know, you have at your disposal, because he's got all these usual tools of the tarot here, you've got available to you brilliant capabilities which you should share with other people. Now, one important task is to find or to create the proper surroundings for your activities. Now, in what areas lie your talents? Play to your strengths, minimize your weaknesses. With what methods and in what surroundings can you pass these talents on or share them? Now, just visualize your ideal area of activity and describe it in one sentence and say this: I create magic when I use my inherent gifts and talents. I honor the resource of skilled communication which are within me. The full expression of my creative potential fulfills me and makes me happy and satisfied. Now, underneath this magician card, we have the Two of Discs, which you will like because it is Jupiter, as I see it, in this position, that great benefic, the bestower of good luck, goodwill, expansion, and fortune. Jupiter in the first decan of Capricorn, which you would know to be the 23rd of December to the 2nd of January. Well, this is fantastic, this card for you, because this is the Lord of harmonious change, and it's saying that this really is a time for you to go with the flow. Now, there's a lot of movement here, having a few ups and downs and growth through change, but I expect you to be quite busy, you know. You'll be multitasking and have quite a heavy workload, but you will be enjoying your work, and that's a welcome change. And I think you'll see that things move into a better phase for you now. Well, this is transformation. It is change. There's no doubt about that. And Jupiter, though, the planet, symbolizing luck and expansion, says that this change is going to bring luck and enrich your life, and the new will bring more stability and security, which is that Capricorn aspect with it. Now, change is always necessary when the old falls out of balance. Change shakes you up, it wakes you up. The only thing that is certain is uncertainty. But the uncertainty which is brought about by this energy here is one which is bringing good things with it for you. Now, I think, as I say, that this is a time for you to go with the flow in your life and just trust in the process of change so that you can find harmony and balance. You know, constant changes in fortune can make things difficult to get things off the ground. So maybe just for this month, determine whether or not a new venture should really be launched, or whether it's something that could maybe wait till the next month. There's nothing financially or materially buried in concrete at the moment, so things are going okay in that respect. But this does remind you to make sure that your own day-to-day affairs are in order. That is, that you've sorted out your utilities bills and all that sort of thing. Do you know that your life is subject to a constant change which allows you to grow? It extends and expands you, and it ultimately enriches you. So give yourself up to the change with trust. Now, what internal or external changes are going on in your life? To where are you still clinging? And say to yourself, I trust in the harmony of my life and in the flow of my life, because every day, in every way, I am getting better and better. Now, there's an interesting energy, I think, which is down here, and this energy, which is this Knight of Swords, has a lot of Capricorn written all over it, I think, and the other person, I think, which could be important to you or have a connection with you at this time is Aquarius, interestingly. Now, as a knight, he's air, and in swords, well, that's a suit of air, esoterically. So he is the airy aspect of air, and this is bringing about intuition, creative thinking, and cutting through of all entanglements, and becoming free of limited ideas and models. And you will, as this card up here said, have a clear perception now. Now this may be or represent someone, it could be someone that you know as well, who is intellectual, full of ideas, very clever, but sometimes unstable with that cleverness, someone who can be domineering, elusive, and someone who can be impressionable. Do you know, sometimes problems appear to be insurmountable to us because of old limiting belief systems and thoughts. For example, I am weak and dependent, or if I assert myself, I will be punished, or I am basically clumsy. Well, maybe in some past situation, probably in your childhood, such feelings maybe had a certain validity, but now they have no relation to your present reality. But you might continue to drag these beliefs along with you. However, repeatedly experiencing situations which reinforce them. You tell yourself, for example, that your basic clumsiness causes you to drop and break things. Well, reality is different to that. You know, we don't simply fall into situations accidentally, but create them around ourselves based on our beliefs about reality. A man who might be embarrassed about his terrible clumsiness, for example, will restrict his movements, afraid of being clumsy, and that makes his movements clumsy. Now, whatever true natural grace he may possess, that remains undiscovered and undeveloped, because at some time in the past, someone convinced him to see himself as clumsy. Now, if you closely examine aspects of yourself which are unsatisfactory, you can see that each uncomfortable or unworkable situation serves to show you your own misconceptions and mistaken attitudes. Once you have seen these for what they are, you can correct them or just let them go. Free yourself from whatever limits your mind and spirit. Be sure that your ideas and plans are put across in ways that other people understand. I think this is a time when you need to make your ideas tangible. You might find that you have one idea coming after another and move on from one idea to the next idea on the basis that any idea is just as good as the one that came before it. Well, what can happen then is you just can move in any direction, or any direction that you move in is actually accidental rather than planned, you see. But put them across, your ideas, tangibly to other people. Remember, you've got Mercury with you at this time, so this is a time of great communication for you. And accept other people's opinions humbly. Do you know, it is the case that your thinking could well be ahead of its time, but you can adjust to make your vision workable in the present without sacrificing anything. Now, what beliefs, feelings, relationships or programmed ideas do you allow to limit yourself? Say to yourself, my creative possibilities have no limits, but I do need to make sure that they are grounded. Now that takes us finally, I think, to the King of Swords. I see the Knight and the King, that's right. Let's have a look at this King of Swords that's here. Now, I think that Gemini and Taurus are likely to be important to you at the moment. He is the Lord of winds and breezes. Why am I getting Gemini and Taurus as energy around here? I think that's because you will have the energy of the mind in Gemini, with the influence and the stability and determination of your sister Earth sign of Taurus. So you will be active, clever, very skillful, I think. You may well find that you are fierce and courageous, but again, I'm getting this thought around there which says that you may be unreflective. So that is the point that this thing was making, to say that you should make your ideas tangible. Now, you will be very ambitious, goal-oriented. You'll have flexible intellectual powers, I think, and there's a great degree of passion around here. He is like he represents the idea of attack, of the violent power of motion, of wind applied. He is the wind, the storm. And I think the moral qualities associated with this king are skill, subtlety, and cleverness. And he's going to make you fierce, determined, courageous. But you could get altogether consumed by your current idea, which comes to you by way of inspiration without reflection and considered thought. So check these things that come to you, work out the plan, see what's involved at the start of the idea, and see how does it play out. You'll have a strong intellectual determination, and that's going to be unified with a deep emotional understanding. Only goals which are emotionally charged are going to light up passion for you. But your body, intellect, and spirit, they are going to be in harmony and fly right beside you at this time. Now, he is also mirroring the energy that was in this Six of Swords by saying that you are going to get a clear insight into a problem, and you'll be working quickly to set goals. And don't let anything get in the way. I think that this is something of a restless period for you. Even though this is going with the flow, there's a restlessness building up in you where you are transitioning and thinking about getting somewhere else, either in your everyday life or in travel. And it is a time to listen to the head rather than the heart, because I get the feeling that this king here is more comfortable in his head rather than expressing feelings. Now, you don't have any problems expressing feelings, but they can throw you off course sometimes. Because there's an indication here of restlessness I get in all aspects of life. Maybe there is a desire to break free of something involved in the workplace. But you are in a good position now to forge plans, to set goals, and to bring them to fruition. But do you know your goal? Can you set it down in one sentence and then draw backwards from that one small step after another that you need to go from where you stand now to your goal? And what happens once you achieve it? And imagine how you'll best be able to enjoy your success. Say this to yourself: I know my goal and I know what I am working towards. Each goal is just a milestone on the way to my ultimate destination. I've got to say, I loved spending that time with you. I really did, and what a great month it looks like it's going to be for you. A few ups, a few downs, but very much on the positive side altogether, I think. That's what's going on with you, and don't you deserve it? I think you do. It really is time for you to have some good times, aren't it? Now look, if you did enjoy the reading, would you do me this favor, and it's all I ask, that on the way out, please hit the like button, or do it now if you would. It's good for the computer or YouTube, whatever it may be. And unless you contact me privately, I'll see you again next month. And until then, remember one thing though, and it is this, that you are a legend. And I look forward to seeing you again next month. And until then, it's bye for now.